How do we find detachment? I'll tell you the one way that you will most likely not find detachment, and that is through force. When we try to force something, we create resistance. And then when there is resistance, there is persistence. The more you resist something, the more it persists. So today I'm going to tell you guys how to find detachment in a healthy, smooth flowing, peaceful way that does not include beating yourself up. Hello and welcome. This is Hekate's Torch, your guide back to your own inner light. I am Taya, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys, like I said, about detachment. The way that I teach here is through embodiment and experience. It's 12 o'clock. That thing freaks me out every time, almost every time. It hasn't been going off for a few days, and so I'm actually not used to it after it hasn't been going off for a few days, but good Lord, let me take a second. As I was saying, I like to teach through embodiment and through experience, my own personal experiences, and what I find works for me, and then I share that with others. So what I'm going to be teaching you today is what I have learned through my own personal experience. I'm not teaching you based off of other people's teachings. I'm not pulling this out of thin air. This is something that's very grounded and something that I feel is going to be able to help you shift if you have tried to move on and tried to force yourself to detach from something, from someone, and you just haven't been able to. So I have my notes here. Let's just jump straight into it. So the way that we detach from something is by accepting our attachment. This might sound a little counterintuitive, counterproductive to allow and to accept our attachment, that it would somehow create us or allow us to be detached. But the reason this works is because acceptance of what you are feeling, of the state that you are in truly, allows it to be seen. It allows it to then melt and transform into something different very gradually, where you're not trying to force the shift. You accept where you're at, and then the shift comes naturally. So how do we reach understanding? If we know that the first step is acceptance, well, technically the very first step is to identify what you are attached to. Then the second step, go away wasp. I just got stung by a wasp on my foot the other day, and that is so painful. I could not be on my foot like all day long. That was crazy. So please don't. Please go. What was I saying? So actually the first step is to identify what we are being attached to, and then find acceptance for it. And the way that we find acceptance is through understanding. Once we understand ourselves, we can find love for ourselves. We are no longer pushing away our desires and our true nature. Also, once we understand ourselves, we are able to make sense of something. And when we have that moment of like, oh, that makes sense, or like, of course, then we are able to let it go because we understand it. Our minds understand it, our psyches understand it, and it just naturally is this, like I've said, this softening, acceptance, transformation process. I want to touch a little bit on the trap of rejecting your attachment. And what I mean by this is it looking like, specifically in the realm of manifestation, let's say, is when we are told that the more we are attached to something, the more we push it away. And so we must reject our attachment. We must persist through that attachment and kind of like force ourselves to not care anymore. What's happening when we are rejecting and pushing away our attachment like that is we are actually rejecting and pushing away something within ourselves instead of taking a closer look at it and trying to understand ourselves. Because when we are rejecting our desires, our attachments, what we love, what we are passionate about, because we say it's not good for us, because we're ruining it for ourselves, what's happening is that we formed an attachment because of our biology, because of our human nature. That's just within us to form attachments. And so your biology, no matter what kind of logical reasoning you try to tell yourself, until you feel it out and let it move through you, your biology is going to hold on to what it believes is going to make you feel safe. Whether this is security or relationships, and by security I mean like money, food, housing, material things, and then relationships like love, whether that's parents, family relationships, or like intimate romantic relationships. These are all things that our body identifies as survival. It's vital to have these kinds of connections and this kind of security. So when we are rejecting what we are wanting, instead of looking at the root, we're pushing away these things that our body is like, no, I need this. I need this because this is vital to my survival and to the continuation of life. And the last thing that I want to touch on around the trap of rejecting your attachment is that when we reject our fears and our attachments, instead of taking a closer look at them, we can get trapped in a loop of, and I'm talking again kind of in the realm of manifestation because that's what my channel is about if you're new here. We can get trapped in a loop of spiraling and then devaluing ourselves or worrying that our spiral screwed things up, and then going back to being okay, and then spiral again. You get it. You kind of just repeat that cycle. So that is the trap of rejecting your attachment, because resistance is persistence. I'm going to be talking a lot about that too, because it is very true. The more you resist something, the more it's going to be brought to your attention to look at. Let's get to the melting point. I like that. I think I might adopt that as a regular thing. Let's get to the melting point of how do we reach understanding. Are you ready? It is so simple, but like it's so obvious after I'm going to say this. And the way to reach understanding about your attachment is to realize that attachment is normal and it is 100% healthy to become attached to things. It is part of our human nature to form attachments. So of course you are seeking financial security. Of course you are wanting to be loved. Of course you are. That's part of our human biology. And once we can accept those things about ourselves, then we don't hold on to it and beat ourselves up about it and just kind of harp on these things that we want to be different about ourselves. It, like I said, allows us to soften, to let go, and then to transform. Just simple acceptance through understanding. Once we accept ourselves, then we are able to stop judging ourselves and holding ourselves in this position of guilt and wrong and whatever else. This judgment is what is keeping us stuck in this position. When we accept ourselves, we free ourselves. And I just want to say, of course, again, you are attached to XYZ. Your body deems it as vital for survival. That is why we can, and how we can reach understanding for our attachment to things, is to realize it's perfectly normal and healthy and there's nothing wrong with it. So once you do move into this stage of understanding and acceptance, what you can expect after that is a slow, gradual shift. Nothing that you have to do, nothing that you have to force to change. Once you accept it, you will gradually move through the steps of transformation. One of these that it can look like is actually accepting and allowing yourself to feel sad or to grieve whatever it is that you are attached to. And you no longer have whatever it is, to allow yourself to move through those emotions. It is 100% normal. It is not going to ruin whatever it is that you are calling in. It is actually going to free you from those emotions and allow you to move through it, maybe even move on from it, and to reach a state of detachment because you processed it. That is how we reach detachment. Not through force, not through saying I'm so much better than XYZ, so I'm just not going to care about it anymore. Let me know in the comments if that's ever worked for you, because it might. It might. But this, what I'm teaching today is a very holistic, easy way to move through this process over and over again, especially if you're feeling stuck. Okay, yeah. So just allow the grief, allow the sadness, allow the lack, allow yourself to feel it. I love to cry. You can talk it out, journal it out. Whatever is going to allow you to move through those emotions is going to be how you're going to release and accept and transform. If this is something that you feel like you want support on, I am now offering one-on-one guidance appointments. It's called The Shift, and I am helping others to melt, to transform whatever emotional conflict that they are feeling stuck or held in. I'm really excited to offer that to other people. So link is in my bio, also in the description. Appointments are 1 hour long, just $50. And my only day available is Sunday. All right, but I'll be available on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time. If you are able to apply this method yourself, which you totally can, you don't need someone to guide you through it, although some people it is extra helpful. So those appointments are there for you if you do feel like you want some guidance. Otherwise, please share some love with this video if you learned something, and subscribe for more manifestation, spirituality, growth, and development, healing type of content. That's what we do here. Well, I guess I'll see you guys in the next one.